I don't know how to stop recording, so it's just recording right now.
All you gotta do is go to the corner. It's like
I go to the corner.
go
Don't
to
say
All the where it says recording, there's a little stop
Yeah.
button. Stop recording. That makes
yeah, right.
This would be the bloopers part you can put in.
Hey, I'm putting this in. Hey guys, this is the beginning of the. I'm just letting you know this is the beginning of the show.
I was like, it still says recording up there in the corner, bro.
hit the stop button.
Daddy, let me loose. They gotta move. Bishop with the burner, baby. I got the juice. They hating on my team, cause we the truth. Won't he do it? And we the proof. We gon' take them way, 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 way up. We gon' take them way, 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 way up. We gon' take them way, 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 way up. We gon' take them way, 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 way up. Yeah. First drop, they were like, Biz, who are you, boy? Get your name up. Try to hold me down, but you know me now. Look at God, I done came up. They were looking for the sauce, I was cooking for the boss. Now I'm A1. Try to keep us out the
Everybody
game.
good. All right. Well, we want to welcome you guys, man. This is Hard in the Paint podcast here, presented by MTMV Sports, where NBA news gets physical like the paint. Whether you want to body him like Shaq or finesse him like Hakeem the Dream, you're going to get the hard truth. Look, let's dive in. I got my boys here today. Fellas, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
This is my boy Jay. Say hey to the people.
What's up, y'all? How you guys doing today?
Good, man. I'm good. Connie, what's going on, sir?
Hey man, it's Connie West Side, the best side. You know, this is how we do. I'm on the show.
Definitely, man. Again, I want to welcome y'all to Hard in the Paint, man. We are glad to be back. It has been a long, I guess, hiatus, you would call it, with us doing the Huddle Up for MTMV Sports, man. We've been diving into that and putting everything we got into that. So I'm glad to be back. Obviously, I'm an NBA head. I got my boy Jay and Connie here, and we're just going to dive directly into it, man. With COVID-19 kind of really taking over and causing us to do quarantine, this is stop sports. I mean, I can't put an exact time on it, how long we've been out of sports, but I mean, the last dance really is keeping us afloat right now. Everybody is looking forward to this every 7-day thing, every Sunday. I think, what is it, 7 and 8 airing this Sunday? Okay, but what did happen, big news, that Adam Silver did have a call with all the players yesterday, and they basically confronted what some of the issues that people were having, what's moving forward, how are we going to come back, how are we going to bring this season back. One biggest thing that started out was the decision to resume play may go into June. Basically understanding of how we're going to get daily testing, how we're going to figure out having players like that. And the biggest thing that they were talking about was having the limit to 1 to 2 places, cities, Disney World or Las Vegas. I mean, if the NBA does come back, do we expect it to be back in June, or are we seeing it being pushed to July, August? Jay, let me hear from you.
I'm thinking with the way Adam Silver's talking, it'll probably be back into July or August. He's been very, very cautious, which is understandably with the position that he is in.
Definitely.
Being cautious makes a lot of sense. But with him saying that they'll push that decision to come back or not even make that into June, let's say you get it mid-June. Well, you're going to have about 3 weeks of training camp. Then you're going to have to go right into the regular season.
Yeah.
I forget if it's a month and a half. I forget exactly how much time is left.
Yeah.
But I do think it'll be later rather than sooner that we'll have the NBA come back.
Definitely. Connie, what you thinking, man?
Look, man, I'm hoping that it's sooner. So, like, I'm hoping June, man. We up and running in June.
Yeah.
You know, we take the whole month of June to do the playoffs and everything. Like, I just need June to be that thing, and then like a little bit of July, because August we're talking training camp for football, and then y'all gonna be fighting for time.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about pushing. Now, this is what they're talking about, pushing with the high school level. High school level in Florida, they're talking about pushing it. They're starting it in October.
Yeah.
And pushing it all the way to like January.
Wow.
Not January, but like January or February, and like and all that other stuff. Like, so I'm talking about playoffs and everything.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
So now and then on top of that, they're talking about moving college football and all that to the spring, and there's a whole repertoire of things happening that, you know, is just not necessary. So if they can come sooner, we might be able to fit certain schedules here.
Definitely.
So yeah, man. And then on top of that, like, I don't want to be stuck with baseball the whole summer. And this may be a baseball-less summer, dog. Like,
yeah, I feel you.
Because what we were surviving on the summer league, you know what I mean?
Pretty much.
And Oh, and then like here's the thing about summer league, man. You have so many guys competing in summer league. That's not going to compete in summer league this year. My buddy, he was in the summer league last year. Shout out to you, Corey Walden, man. I gotta get you on the show.
Facts.
I will get him on the show. Y'all just wait. I will get.
I got you. We here.
Yeah. So like I said, like shout out Corey, man. You know, because he plays Italian ball, but he came and he played for Toronto Raptors for the summer league. You know, I'm like, oh yeah. So there's a lot of potential that's out there that won't be playing, especially the LaMelo, not LaMelo, but LiAngelo and the LaMelo balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity, man, for the summer league was also just a place where they brought in players to potentially be on the NBA team. We want to see what you can do out there. Obviously, it's for the top draft picks and people kind of filling out their teams. But like you said, your friend coming from overseas to be able to play, that's awesome. But with COVID, that's not going to happen. And we're trying to figure out, like, man, how do we come back from that? I know, speaking of what Jay was talking about, the players and owners are basically saying we want at least 3 weeks for training camp. Like, if we're going to come back in June or July, and which I honestly think if we push the decision to June, let's say we get it the first week of June, and then 3 weeks of training camp, we're still talking about the first week of July, mid-July, even possibly moving into August if we get the decision sometime in June. I think what people are really looking at is this. I want to say is it the Korean Baseball League?
Yes,
Korean Baseball League.
Yeah,
Korean Baseball League, who's playing right now. Adam Silver did reference the fact that if we do come back, when we come back, because I'm going to speak this thing into existence, when the NBA comes back, we will be playing with no fans in attendance, which we basically all understood that. We can't get these thousands of people together and they're trying to practice 6 foot distancing, social distancing.
Right.
I mean, if that's the case, are we ready to watch basketball with no fans in the stands and understanding that it will be mid-July at least to win after decisions made and training camp? Jay, you raising your hand. What's up?
Yes. So earlier today, before we got on this, I was listening to, I think it was All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I went back to the one when Draymond Green was on there. And if we go back in our minds way back to March when this whole thing hit, there was word that the Warriors were going to play a basketball game with no fans. And about 8 hours later, they said the season was suspended. Well, Draymond Green said at that point, someone in the organization came to him and said, hey, we know there's going to be no fans in here. We need one of y'all to get some music ready. And so they was going to make it more like
I remember that.
More of like an open gym type game, or like that All-Star game. Yeah, so like the All-Star games nowadays, how they have music playing. Even though there's fans there, there's still music and the lights are darker. Well, Draymond Green has a buddy that's a DJ. So he said, hey, man, I need you to get some hip-hop. I need you to get some top 40 hits so we can play them in the arena. So I think that would actually, for the players, that's a whole lot better, and for the announcers than if you're just if there's no fans and there's nothing and you're at the YMCA hooping like you and I would. For them, if there's no fans and there's no crowd noise, no nothing, it messes with their psyche. A lot of these guys are used to shooting free throws with players there. With fans there and the noise. So, hey man, no fans in the stands. It's gonna hate it for us. We're fans. Yeah. But I mean, that noise watching on TV with the music in the background over the speakers, that would be an added enjoyment, not just for us, but for the players, because it will hide their trash talk and all that stuff. And a lot of what they say, you can't play on you can't say on regular TV.
Yeah.
Well, and let me put this in perspective for y'all. One of the greatest games that was ever played was played with no fans. It was the Dream Team.
The Dream Team, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bro, MJ was like, I'm the sheriff now.
Like, right. Like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go ahead. Let us control the narrative.
Yeah.
And let us put it in front of y'all. Like, yo, y'all, you get fans and everything's like all fine and dandy, but all right, let us control it real quick. And it was so dope. One thing that it kind of reminded me of back in the day, I don't know, like if y'all used to go to like the open gyms and like the only people were there were like the people that were ready to hoop.
Oh yeah.
Like, or like the people that
I was one of those people. Thank God.
Right. Hey, bruh, I remember going to the Rec in Daytona Beach and in Ormond Beach, which anybody in America, if you want to play some ball, go to Ormond Beach, Florida, or Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
We play ball.
Oh, y'all hoop for real? Okay.
We hoop. We really hoop in Ornament Beach for real.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like, it's just that atmosphere where, like, you know, you got just whoever's in there, and you might not get like that, but you be like, okay. When I get up on the court, let's do this.
Yeah.
It also like put me in the mind state of, like, I don't know if you saw, like, LeBron James mixtape when he was like 27. When he was 27 years old, and he was at, like, I think he was at either the Drew League, or they were just doing like summer hooping or whatever.
I don't remember.
Bruh, I gotta see y'all a link. This guy is nasty. I'm like, yo,
I know
like,
that.
like
Oh,
Bron,
we're gonna get into that too.
like, I'm just saying, like, Bron was like that dude when he was 27, like the athleticism that he had at 27. I'm like, I don't remember having that athleticism at 27. Like, I don't. I think 27 was probably my last year.
Most guys are in like their prime around that age. When you come in at 22, 4 to 5 years in, that's when you're like, all right, I done figured it out. I done had enough years to. I'm not the rookie anymore, not a sophomore. I got my legs under me. I know what to expect for the 82 game season and playoffs.
Right.
I think what Bron was in. He was in prime 2010. Going to the Miami Heat. I mean, 07. He took him to the finals, but we knew he wasn't going to win that final. So
right. 2010.
So 2010. So he was 18, 03, 7, about 25 years old coming into it, man. But you know, I mean, still at 35, but the average of triple double. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? So the athleticism obviously isn't there what it was 10 years ago. We know that. But
Right.
I think even with the way Kobe approached the game is, as he got older, athleticism kind of faded. He just learned to play the game a little bit differently, and was still dominant at it. Like, you talk about a guy in his 30s, turn around fadeaways in your grill when you got a hand in his face like this. He's like, excuse me. Like, I practice this. I don't even. You can have your hand. You can close my eyes if you wanted to. It's
I hoop. That's what he said. Basically, he said I hoop.
We didn't play that, man, and that's what I love about what he brought to the game. Obviously, and we'll get into this. Obviously, The Last Dance is the big thing that's happening right now, and we're going to get into it. I want to make sure that we finish up on the NBA players call. So the last thing that we're talking about, obviously, people want to know what's going to happen if a player tests positive for COVID, and what the response time is going to be, or what's going to happen. So he's been quoted as saying, basically, is that he doesn't want the stoppage of play. This is Adam Silver letting the players know. I don't want stoppage of play, but at that point when NBA comes back, we should have daily testing and figuring out being tested when they come into these facilities in this 1-2 places, Disney World or Las Vegas, that we talked about earlier. I mean, how confident do you feel in if the NBA does resume, and when the NBA resumes, and the people are coming into contact with these two teams? Do you think that there will be another outbreak of COVID because the NBA is we're pushing for the NBA to come back, or do you think that at that point we'll be in a place where the daily testing will definitely help subside the spread of this virus?
Well, here's the thing. We've been doing very well with the social distancing, and you know, they keep saying there's new cases each and every day.
Yeah.
As a guy that works in the medical field right now, we haven't had a outbreak at all. We haven't had anybody tested positive in a very long time. I think we only had like one case, and even with that, he got better. Yeah. he's doing well right now.
Sure.
He's training at FAMU right now in the facilities right now, nice. So he's all right. Yeah. But like I think because we've been practicing social distance very well. Like, I mean, you know, this, and in like the market right now, like, we really need ball. So I'm pretty sure it's, you know, hey, this might be a quote unquote high risk. But I mean, it's a necessary risk that we need to take. So
yeah, I'll piggyback off of that as well. It's that necessary risk. It's a very interesting term because not trying to say that COVID-19 is not serious and that it's not what it actually is, but we take necessary risk every single day. And I'm not just saying us as black men. I'm just saying people in general. We take necessary risk every day.
Too, though, as black men.
So I think that basketball coming back, I'm not trying to go down that rabbit trail, but with basketball coming back, I do think it would be a necessary risk because not just for the players, some need to, like some guys aren't good with saving their money and spending it wisely. Some guys are, like I'm sure some of them miss the paychecks or the diminished amount of money they're getting. Right. The owners definitely want more money. Coaches want more money. But you have those other people in the arena that would still be working. And
people's jobs, that's another thing, people's jobs.
So there's necessary risks that are going to take place, and a lot of people are nervous about taking them, but it's a part of our lives. I mean,
for sure.
So I made this analogy at one time that somebody thought was crazy, but driving down the street every day is a necessary risk we take as human beings. You may say, Jay, you're crazy for saying that, but you don't know what that driver is going to do. You have no idea when you get in that car if the car is going to fall out, but you believe that when you get into it, it's a necessary risk you take to get to work every single day. And it's a necessary risk for people to get back to work. You get back to work, and governors and mayors and counties are doing what they need to, what they see fit to make that decision. But I do believe it's a necessary risk because one thing we forget about, these referees are not getting paid. Even though a lot of these guys have other jobs or other things are going on, referees are not getting paid. People at the scores table, they're not getting paid. Luckily, if you have freelance photographers and video people that are not getting paid. So the NBA coming back, it's a necessary risk. Sports, a necessary risk. I mean, players playing. I mean, Michael Jordan, the flu game. It was to him, it was a necessary risk that he played that game. So it's a risk, a necessary risk we do with things we do all the time. But I do think it's a risk that the NBA should take. And real quick, if the NBA does come back, if someone does test positive, I think they'll take the Dana White or UFC approach, like, hey, you're out of here, you're down for the count for a week or 2 weeks, I believe, and then come back. If players, like just say, hypothetically speaking, I hope this doesn't happen, but let's say you have more players test. Let's say you only can dress 4 players one day because you have so many people to get it. I don't think that'll happen, but if it happens, it happens. You'll keep on playing. It'll suck. You're playing 48 minutes with 4 players, or forfeit. But I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. It's what kind of has to happen.
Alabama played a game where their whole entire bench went out and they had 3 players left, and they managed to come back.
I remember that game.
With 3 players. That was a Saxon game. Yeah,
I feel you. I mean, and I think that's the biggest thing in what you're looking at and trying to understand if that's the best move. There's a necessary risk because, I mean, you want to get back to playing ball. You know, you want to get back to sports. I think we realize how much we need and how much we depend on sports when it's not here, right? So I think that's the biggest thing, man. And the last thing that we'll mention about the players call that they had with Adam Silver is he was quoted as saying that there are going to be a lot of bad options for the teams that are on the playoff bubble for if the hiatus extends too far out. Let's say if it goes further than it needs to, and we need to get to the playoffs to start the playoffs, then those teams are just not going to be able to vie for a playoff berth. Now, in the Western Conference, we're looking at I think like the Memphis Grizzlies, the Trailblazers. Now, these games, the Pelicans, the Trailblazers, and the Kings, with the Grizzlies as well, the last 4. Grizzlies being 8th place, Trailblazers being 9th, Pelicans 10th, and the Kings 11th. Even the Spurs really at 12th place. They're all separated by 3 games. The Grizzlies are leading with 32 and 33, with the Trailblazers with 29 wins, Pelicans with 28, Kings with 28, and the Spurs at 27. So I can understand why they would be a little bit, perturbed if something like that happens. In the Eastern Conference, it's a little bit different. The Magic in 8th place with 30 wins, Wizards 24, Hornets 23. So that kind of, thing will be whatever. The Bucks will get the Magic in the first round. Whoever gets the Bucks in the first round is going to lose anyway. So we're not even really – people shouldn't really be mad about what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. But for those teams, if you're a player on the Kings or the Spurs, I mean, do you feel some type of way if they jump right into the playoffs and you're behind 1, 2, 3 games where you could have possibly made the playoffs? Now you're counting on Memphis to lose, and you guys can end up taking that 7th, that 8th spot. In the Eastern Conference, a little bit different. It's separated by like 6 games, so it probably wasn't going to be a lot of movement there. But for the Kings, for the Spurs, for the Pelicans, Zion, who's if he would have made the playoffs, I think that they were saying basically like he can win Rookie of the Year if he gets into the playoffs. Which yeah. I think honestly, Ja kind of has that wrapped up. You can't take off half a season and I can still win Rookie of the Year. Look, you've been great, you've been awesome, but it's a 30-game sample that we didn't get when we get an 82 one with Ja Morant. Now, if you're a player on the Kings, Pelicans, or Spurs, do you feel some type of way if they jump right into the playoffs?
Yes, but it's the nature of the beast. It's unfortunate. I don't know another time that the NBA's had to suspend the season in the middle of it. I know back in, I think it was 98, 99, had the lockout year, so it was less games.
Yeah.
If I'm in like 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I think went down to the Spurs in the Western Conference, I'd be upset. But at the same time, your coach can go back and be like, hey, this was out of our control. When the NBA came back, we were the odd people out. So it just teaches us next year, do what's needed so we always stay between 1 through 8. It's going to be harder. It's going to make the regular season more important. This very, very well will do that. I feel some type of way. But even if let's say you got the Lakers hat on, if I'm the Lakers, Clippers, something, I'd be feeling some type of way as well because we believe we had a really good shot to win the title. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, not trying to be the negative guy here between all three of us, but let's say the NBA season does not come back. If I'm LeBron, if I'm Kawhi, if I'm AD, man, I'm upset. I'm feeling some type of way. But it's something that is out of our control. So even though my emotions would be a little upset, a little hurt because I'm a professional athlete that wants to win a title, it's one thing, it's out of our control. But no matter, focus on those that are like on the outside looking into the playoffs right now. I would be, but then everybody in the league, those in the playoffs would be as well if the NBA did not come back.
For sure. Kind of what you think?
And like Jay said, the importance of like tightening up early. Like, bro, like first off, there's like if you were to take care of business, like let's use Pelicans for example. They were 18 and 27 when Zion was gone, and then when Zion came back, they wound up being 10 and 7. I mean, come on, bro. Like, I don't
know if you want Zion getting you into the playoffs,
right? You know what I mean?
So much energy that his second season is a slump. Like, look, we see sample size, we get it. If I'm the coach or GM or owner of the Pelicans, I'm like, all right, cool, playoffs, we didn't make it, but we got a good system here, we got good players, and let's start from the jump when the regular season jumps up. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
no, you're good. No, but what I'm saying is like you gotta take care of business early. This is something that you preach in football. This is something that you preach in actually just football. I mean, because you only got a short amount of time. But no, in high school basketball, like you only got 27 games.
Yeah, 16 in NFL. So
yeah, 16 in NFL. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Do what you need to do so you can get into these playoffs. Get in front of these people that want to see you play for a championship. Like honestly, I just felt like y'all had the necessary athletes and the necessary talent on the team to get you to where you're at. Why the heck you're mad? No, that's your fault. That's bad planning, bad coaching, bad play. It's your fault. Yeah. So I think y'all need to tighten up in the beginning, and then when it comes down to the end, be like, oh, okay, we here. We had nothing to worry about. Yeah. But for LeBron James and a Kawhi Leonard, now this is a whole different thing. Like, yo, we balled hard the whole entire year. You take this from us, I'm fading the whole entire squad. I'm fading the GM. I'm fading the owners. I'm fading COVID-19. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Taking everybody out.
Everybody.
Bro, I'm going up to God like, yo, bro, like I know I can't beat you. But you gave Jacob them hands, so I'm just saying, can you run me one real quick? Like there's just some certain things.
Shout out to Jared Sanders on that one. Hey man, look, I think it's gonna be it's both. You play both sides of the coin. I mean, when you look at the Lakers and the Clippers, the Bucks, the Celtics, if something didn't happen, this would be a lost season. That'd be devastating. But for the people that weren't in the playoffs, I mean, I get it. The Pelicans got a sample size of what they'd be looking at for the years to come, which is definitely a good sample size. We saw what Zion was able to do on the court, basically averaging a triple-double as a rookie. He was everything we thought he was and a little bit more. So the Pelicans have a great future to look to. But, I mean, you don't want this rookie trying to take you to the playoffs and trying to be this big guy his first year in the playoffs. I mean, the last person to do that and win a championship was Magic Johnson. And with those Showtime Lakers, man, a 6'9" point guard, he had Hall of Famers on the team. Let's not get it twisted. If you want the Pelicans to make the playoffs, that's cool. But if you're gonna lose in the first round, second round, you would get the Lakers or the Clippers first. And I mean, you already know what I got to say about the Lakers, but Clippers. I mean, that's a hard team to beat, man. And
Right.
when you look at that, you know, it's gonna be what it is. And what we see, we hope Adam Silver has a great plan. We get the places like Disney World or Las Vegas to buy in, and we can finish out these 7-game playoffs. So I think, I mean, I'm hoping that everything works out, and we definitely could figure it out. Now, let's get to what everybody's been talking about, The Last Dance. Now, this whole documentary is absolutely amazing. I've got to watch and read about episodes 1 through 6, and obviously I've seen a different side of MJ. We knew the stories, we heard all the stories, but seeing it in real time was obviously different. So my question to you would be: do you look at MJ any different after seeing the behind the scenes of the first 6 episodes of The Last Dance?
I would say no, and I'm going to say no, being I already knew MJ was a jerk, and I'm not trying to be like
right.
I love Mike. I love Mike. I love Mike. I love Kobe. Those are my guys.
Yeah.
But that Steve Kerr thing, that does not mean anything to me, because that happens in any level of sports all the time. You got little league guys getting hit. I played football in high school. My buddy Dan Jones, every year doing tour days, seemed like it was like clockwork. He would get there about the second week, tired, didn't get much sleep the night before. Him and his girl probably fighting or something, and then they get on the field. He get in a fight, and then he gets back into it. And I mean, that's just sports. Your emotions are high. Coaches are upset. People are trying to win, so stuff happens. I mean, it's competitive, especially when you're getting paid millions of dollars. You're going to be acting way different than the average person. So no, it didn't make me think of anything. I think it just opened the eyes of how Michael Jordan was as a person to everyone else that thought he was a god-like figure. And people say all the time, it opens the eyes to the young kids that are LeBron fans or that didn't really watch that era, to how good Mike was. Okay, cool, it does that as well. But this doesn't really change it to me, because I mean, competitive guys, and I'm sure Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all these greats, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, I'm sure all these guys had moments like Mike did. It's just Mike's a different cat, and on this stage, everything's magnified. And so, they don't change nothing for me at all. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of what you think, bro?
Man, look, Michael Jordan is great for a reason.
Yeah.
And
oh boy, here we
this
go.
is the reason why. He didn't care about nobody, bro. He's like, yo, we're gonna win. The gambling, I'm gonna win. The golfing, I'm gonna win. I am going to win regardless. I'm gonna win the basketball court, the tennis court,
beat the
baseball
Monstars,
field.
everybody.
He beat the Monstars. He beat the Monstars. I mean, these guys were from off the planet, dog. Right. He's like, yo, bro, like, you coming from Moron Mountain? Like, yo, bro, okay, come down to Chicago, see me where I'm at, cuz I'll get Bugs Bunny and beat you with Bugs Bunny and them. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's not even that. It also shows these kids, like, literally, this is what it takes to really be great. Like, being great is not beautiful. It's not a beautiful process. There are going to be nights where you are up late. There's going to be times where you're going to get in arguments with people that you're not in sync with. Yeah. But in order for you to get a good product and come out on top winning, you have to go through these struggles. You have to go through arguments, fights, whatever. And the thing is, at the end of the day, and as men, and it's another thing that is separated. It literally separates the men from the boys. Because as men, they hash things out. And once it's hashed out, all right, let's go ahead and get back to business. Okay. I mean, football is the greatest example. I'm sorry for mentioning football on your show. I mean, it's a basketball show.
What's your sports, baby?
But sports, like, but like when I was playing football, you know how many fights I got into? I got into a lot of fights. And I got my freshman year of high school. Really? I got beat up.
Yeah, it is.
I got beat up my freshman year of high school because I was skinnier and I was a cornerback. Yeah. And I used to talk so much trash, and I got beat up. I got thrown in my locker several times, wedgies, all that. Like, I got beat up.
This
I ain't gonna
man
do
said
that.
wedgies.
I ain't gonna do that again.
Bruh, but
Okay.
when I became a man and my man body started playing defensive end and linebacker, they like, yo, bro, what's up? Like, yeah, what's up? yeah.
My man.
No, but at the end of the day, like, but this shows what it takes to be great. I mean, it's not a pretty process, but
yeah,
you see what happens when you're putting these times. Like, I'm not one for feelings. And we live in such a feeling culture where, like, only certain people can be at the top, and you know, you don't see their ugly side, but they're, you know what I'm saying, we're in a feeling culture, like, people gonna spare your feelings. No one's gonna spare your feelings, dude. You want to be great, this is what you got to do.
Facts. I think the biggest thing for me, what it showed, is that how much the comparison to MJ LeBron should be MJ to Kobe, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it just these were two players cut from the same cloth, who were competitive, would do anything to win, learn anything to win. I honestly would go as far as saying I love the fact of how curious Kobe was. He had a question about everything, figuring out why people did this or why they did that. Why did this work when this didn't work? What he did on the floor, on the court, and I also like the quote that he had in the Last Dance, saying, "Look, I don't like the comparisons between me and MJ. Like, I don't get 5 championships without him. Everything that is me is him."
Mm-hmm.
Like that was
bro.
big, because obviously we talked to our boy The Voice. Like, he hated Kobe for years because he would never just say, "I want to be like Mike." I learned everything from Mike. You know, I'm on board with that as a Lakers fan, just being like, look, bro, you don't got to say where you got it from. We can see it in your game. Like, I never needed for him to be like, I get all these things from Mike. I learned from the greatest. I do think watching these episodes has solidified to me, right? And this is it may be a hot take, it may be spicy talk, whatever you want it to be. That MJ was the greatest, the GOAT, right? Resume is flawless. You know, when he started winning, let's not forget the Detroit Pistons years. Once he beat them and went on, his resume is flawless. We knew who he was, best player in the league at that time throughout those 4 years. I do think, and we're going to get into this, I do think that all around player, I'm going to go with LeBron every time for best of all time, for all around player. If I'm talking about the GOAT, resume, on the court, it's got to be MJ every time. And what solidified it for me was looking at MJ played for 14 years, technically 14 years in the NBA, right? Took the 18-month hiatus, went to play baseball, and, you know, everything like that. If you take 14 years, total 84 to 98, take away the 18 months, which is almost 2 years, 6 championships in 12, 50% of the time, MJ won. 6-0 in the finals. And when he got there, he won. This is now, we went through the whole Detroit Piston years where he couldn't get past them. They taught him how to win, basically. I would say. But going up against a team like the Bad Boy Pistons, you look at what you have to do on the court to get past them. You look at what I need to do differently to get past them so I can go play for the finals. When he got to the finals, didn't see a 7 game. When he got to the finals, he won, period. And out of the 12 years that he was in the league, he won 6 times, 50% of the time. So there was always a chance, like, okay, he's gonna win. My man took a break, came back, and
took a whole break. Let's do like, yo, brother. I'm gonna pause for a second.
What?
How great you are to where you can pause and then, like, all right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's win 3 more.
Right. I remember seeing the video, and I think Scotty has 10s on, and he's pointing to the camera like, yeah, come on back. Like, now I will say this. Now, people don't like to bring this up either, because you never want to talk about the blemishes on MJ's record, right? For me, I think the year that he left and the Chicago Bulls were 1 shot away from the NBA Finals, that points more to Bron for me, because when Bron leaves, you don't talk about this team anymore. Like, when he left the Cavs, who were they? When he left the Heat, who were they? Like,
they were the Heat.
Yeah, like
when he left the Heat, they were still.
Like, what are you talking about right there?
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when MJ left and Scottie Pippen, Scottie Pippen being there, dude was a monster. And with them being one shot away from the NBA Finals, that may be a blemish. Like people look at LeBron like I don't think it's as bad as the 2011 meltdown against the Dallas Mavericks or 07. You know, we obviously didn't think he was going to win in 2007 when he played.
Oh no.
But at 35, almost averaging a triple double, number one team in the West, the dude is defying time right now. Now, don't get me wrong. MJ is the GOAT, because I know people are gonna ask me, don't at me, don't look me up, don't. MJ is the GOAT. Period.
Miles is I am Miles or I am Austin.
I am Miles Austin. IG, Twitter, whatever. But I just think if all around player has to be LeBron because he does everything. Now MJ is the GOAT. Okay, I will end with that. But I'm gonna start with this one with Connie. Does that debate like bother you at this point when you're looking at what MJ put together, his resume, winning 6 out of 12 years that he played, and what he was able to put down and what his resume looks like right now? Does it bother you that they talk about LeBron and MJ? And I'll say that Kobe often gets left out, but to me, he's the closest to MJ. But does that bother you anything about the MJ LeBron debates after watching The Last Dance?
I think what bothers me is that they keep putting LeBron where Kobe should be. It's supposed to be the Kobe and Michael comparison. It's not supposed to be Kobe LeBron.
Yeah.
Not only Kobe LeBron, but LeBron Michael. LeBron, to me, there's no comparison to LeBron, because LeBron, he's a unicorn, so he's in his own category.
Yeah, fact.
But you got these two who literally did the same thing, except for one is a title short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we have here, and not only that, coached by the same guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's not forget that too. So like in my mind, it's just like I just feel like the real question was who's the GOAT? Is it Michael Jordan or is it Kobe? And hands down, it's going to be Michael Jordan every time. And those comparisons are going to be there for eternity.
Yeah.
And I just don't think LeBron is doing the necessary things that these two are doing. Now, LeBron's doing something that Kobe couldn't do. Make what's your boy, Dwight Howard, a good teammate, you know, and make him play good.
It takes a special person to play with them type of players, man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody could, like, keep in mind, like, you know, you got these guys that are really nice and, you know what I'm saying, funny jokesters, and but Michael Jordan and Kobe did not have time for that. Like, yo, bro, I'm trying to win. I'm sorry. We can do that outside of this, but on the court, I don't got time for you to be goofy. Like, no, bro, like, clock in and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
be good like you're supposed to are, and then, you know,
I agree.
So on.
Jay, what you think, man?
I want to make a comment about Dwight Howard real quick and then get right into the Mike and LeBron thing. I think with Dwight Howard, and it goes into Michael Jordan and how you were talking about LeBron and how he's doing this at age 35. Dwight Howard, before the season, committed to getting in better shape and lost, like, I think it was 20 pounds, 25 pounds, something stupid, to where we see him on Venice Beach. And I'm like, who is this cat who looks sick? Because we're so used to seeing him like Cock Diesel, like Yoke and stuff like that. But he's like, for me to better my career, and then ultimately he was with LeBron, he knew he had to get in a different shape with his body. And so I think that goes to what Dwight Howard is now as a basketball player, as a man. He understands mentally how he had to change himself prior. Because if you go back to, was it 2012 when he was with the Lakers? Yeah. My year may be off. But that team was supposed to be really, really good.
We got Steve Nash, too.
Yeah, Steve.
You couldn't tell me who wasn't going to win that year. We got Steve Nash and Dwight. I was like, I
think Dwight got hurt. I know Kobe got hurt. I mean, their team was stacked, but people go ahead.
Yeah, the whole Achilles extended.
So that year, I think it was 18 games that they actually played all three on the court together.
Yes.
It was a crazy year.
So, like, I think Dwight Howard, yeah, you could say what LeBron did, but I think it goes. He had players already be like, "Hey, bro, you need to get it in. You need to check your mind, check your mentals." But it took him at this point in his career. I don't know if LeBron went to him or not, but Dwight Howard, I got to give him credit because I'm not really a big Dwight Howard fan, no matter how good he is defensively or anything. I give that man credit. He got in shape and changed his mindset and realized I have to change how I am as a basketball player to fit in with this team that can be really, really good. But back to that Mike and LeBron thing, I think what it opens our minds to is exactly what LeBron is doing now. Now, I'm a Kobe guy, I'm a Mike guy, I've already said that. But LeBron did exactly is doing what Mike did as well, what Kobe did. If you go and look back at like the 80s Michael Jordan, that's not like late 90s Michael Jordan. He changed his game to transform and to be a better basketball player because he realized I can't be running with these young guys no more. So I got to find a way to kill them in a different route. LeBron's realizing I can't run with these young guys no more. I can be in the best shape in the league, but I can't run with them anymore. So he changed his game. And so I think that's what it opens everyone's mind to. I think with the Mike and LeBron thing, I think that the players view Kobe in the right light and the fans don't. And I think it's the fans that push the LeBron and Mike thing when the former players and the current players are like, hey, Kobe's a different kind of cat. Kobe's not normal. There's a reason why Kobe was secluded by himself and he did what he did and he was able to be away from the team and things like that. He even said early in his career, the things I did early in my career, I came in the league 17, 18 years old. I couldn't go out to the clubs. So all I did was stay inside, stay at home, and watch film and then practice. And then he translated that later in his career. I don't really think that the LeBron and Mike thing really, I think it kind of kills that traction. As great as LeBron is, Mike's just on a different level. And I think it just shows everyone now that Mike is different, and then those that don't know Mike is different. You see, like, Mike is different. The good, the bad, the ugly don't matter. Mike's different, and LeBron's just not with him.
He's different. He is different. I think the issue for me is that the comparison shouldn't happen. I think the comparison happens because is he the greatest player of all time, right? When you look at what LeBron does on the court, he is a unicorn. Like, you don't see anybody else. The closest person to him, to me, was coming in, I thought was going to be Ben Simmons. Didn't really have he didn't really have a shot coming in. I think LeBron shot a whole lot better than Ben did, but a 6'9" point guard who passed first, can finish at the rim, and when you look at those comparisons, I thought that'd be a good one, but I think the comparison is that we've never seen anything like LeBron. Besides, I think he's an athletic magic. Like, when you're like, what in the world is this guy doing? Like, he assists, and the issue that we have with him is that he's always looking for the best basketball play. And I don't think it ever was. I don't have the killer instinct. I don't do this because I've seen him do it. I've seen him go into a game six against Boston where he has to drop 16, 20 straight points to finish out the game. The game that they had against I think it was game 6 against the Spurs. They had the trophies out. Like, the Spurs are getting ready to take and win that series. I think he scored 16 straight in the fourth quarter. Like, the shot from Ray Allen in the corner was just the icing on the cake because he had missed that shot. But I don't think he's afraid to take it. I think he is built for pass first and a team basketball. So he's always looking for the open play. Where Kobe and Shaq were, give me the ball, move out the way. LeBron was like, give me the ball, move out the way. But if you open, I need you to hit that shot. And I think that's where the comparison comes in, because he's been so great for this long. We just haven't seen it. I'll end with saying that MJ is the GOAT. LeBron, to me, is a Mount Rushmore player. And Kobe was the closest thing to Mike. So with that being said, man, we appreciate y'all for checking in with Hard in the Paint. We're going to be a lot more consistent with this moving forward. We're going to get a date and a time that we'll be releasing in the next couple of weeks to be more consistent for you guys. Connie, Jay, I appreciate you guys coming out and being a part of this first episode that we're coming and putting this whole thing out, man. But just as a sign out, man, Jay, want to tell them how to reach you, how we can get in contact with you, what you're doing now, and Connie, the same thing right after Jay is done.
Thank you, Miles, for allowing me to come on. Jay Stevens, host of the Jay Stevens podcast, part of the MTMV Sports Network family. And you can follow me on any podcast app. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, wherever you get podcasts, you can find me on Twitter at jstevens07, Instagram for the podcast at jstevens podcast, Facebook, the J Stevens Podcast. There are plenty of ways for you to connect with myself and the podcast.
Look up J Stevens, you'll find it.
I appreciate Miles having me on. And that Mount Rushmore thing, I will say one thing really quickly. My Mount Rushmore does not have LeBron on it.
Ooh.
Simply because I have Bill Russell for what he did for the early years of the league. I got Magic and Larry because that was kind of a bridge period for the league where they kind of transformed where the league was, and then Mike. So many great players that get left off. There's only 4. Nothing against anybody else. Like I said, Kobe's my guy. I'd love to find a 5th place for Kobe somewhere on there. There's no spot, but that's just how I view it. Unless somebody comes along that's like, hey, you got to move one of those 4 guys off, that'll be my Mount Rushmore. But once again, Miles, appreciate you having me on here.
Definitely, bro. I'm glad you was able to come through. Connie, what's good, Westside?
Well, I'm joining the Heart in the Paint squad, so I'm gonna be here with Miles. So you're gonna hear me. I'm the quiet voice, the quiet storm.
Not quiet at all. Don't play that.
But anyway, yo, man. Honestly, catch me on the IG. My team, my voice, IG, man. That's where you can find me mostly.
Campus Connect.
Campus Connect, guys. You hear us all the time scream out Campus Connect crew because the Campus Connect crew, we are working on something that's going to blow y'all mind.
We're excited,
so yeah, man. So this is for the whole entire team, man. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about everybody's gonna be able to come on. I mean, the squad that I really want to put on is for Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. And also for my nose. Oh yes. And then of course the Gators. I guess. Yes. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about the jorts. But for real though, man, I'm just excited about what's going on with the Heart and Paint podcast. I want y'all to continue tuning in. We are going to give you some great visuals. Mainly because Miles is going to be editing all the visuals.
You a lie. The devil is a lie.
I don't like bragging about myself, so we're gonna say Miles is going to be the visual.
If you're not going to do it, I'll do it for you. Connie puts together all of our visuals and our video editing, and what you see on the MTMV Sports Huddle Up that's happening every week. Those visuals are from that man right there. He's in Florida. We are all over the place. We're Atlanta, Florida. Jay, where are you?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
And he's in Indianapolis. Like we're bringing this whole thing together, and Connie is like the glue that makes this whole thing work. We come on here and we share our opinions. We talk about sports. But Connie is what kind of keeps it together. He keeps the comedic relief for us. He puts together the videos and the visuals. What you see is coming from right there where he's sitting right now. And he puts the talent is absolutely amazing. He doesn't like to brag on it, but we're gonna brag on it for him, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's a blessing to the team. Look, MTV Sports has the Huddle Up that happens every week. Make sure you guys check that out. We have all of our podcasters on there. We're talking about all types of sports, basketball, football, whatever's in the news, we're talking about it. You guys check that out, man. Look, again, this is Heart in the Paint, where NBA news gets physical like the paint. Whether you want to body him like Shaq or finesse him like Hakeem the Dream, you're going to get the hard truth. Again, this is Miles signing out. Connie, Jay, I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate it.